formally welcome everyone who's now joining us to the webinar Jam, the first webinar of LJMB.
The person who's delivering our learning session this afternoon is a best-selling author, a champion speaker. He's won awards at Toastmasters, and a trainer and coach for career and professional development. He has published 12 books to date, including Your First Job, A Practical Guide to Success, How to Get the Job You Want and Love the One You Hate, and Soaring High, Your Flight Plan for Your Best Career Ever. With about 30 years of corporate experience in manufacturing and marketing, his day job is being assistant vice president for a well-known beverage conglomerate. He runs 2 of its packaging factories. This year, we have partnered with him to help develop and coach more professionals and leaders in the country. So if you're looking for a coach who could surely help you to boost your career, he's the person to go to. Let's all welcome our speaker for today, Coach Nelson.
Thank you very much, Rain, and thank you for such a gracious introduction. Give me a shout out or a thumbs up that you can hear me. I made sure that I muted myself. Everybody, please tell me. Yes, thank you. You can hear me loud and clear, and also that you can see the deck. Thank you very much. Welcome back to this Lunch and Learn series, and I do hope you had a great meal. And today, we're going to whet your appetite even more. How to find the mentors you need. Look forward to 3 mindsets before you go around looking for the mentor. Preparation is everything. And look forward to a 4-step process how to get that mentor. And last but not least, a bonus tip how to accelerate your self-development. Now, one of the things that I'm so proud about this audience is that you're so great looking. Unless you have spinach between your teeth, please do us a favor of turning on your videos. Please let us see your wonderful faces. Come on. All right, thank you. And I see several friends here. Roger, how are you? My good friend in Toastmasters, and I believe Maybe is here. Sarah Putalan is here. Thank you one and all for joining this. I'll do my best to make this worth your while. First of all, I almost did not have this career in public speaking. What do I mean? It all started with a theology class. I joined this church, and then I had this particular session with this professor. We attended this class, and I'm like this particular, the usual passive student. I listen, I take down notes, I ask questions, and that's it. And to my surprise, the professor, by the way, he's not a priest, he's not a pastor, he's an ordinary layman like you and me. And he said, I'm now going to give you homework. What? I just left college and now you want me to do homework? Oh, well, okay, fine. What's the homework? And so I dutifully did the homework. I turned it in the following week. About 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from this guy. Nelson, I want to invite you to my special class. What's the class all about? I want to teach guys like you how to teach and how to do public speaking. Really? What's so special about me? Why me? He said, and listen carefully, because Nelson, I'm after faithful men. I don't want to just throw away my life with people that I teach and then they just do nothing with what I teach them. But you did your homework and I love what I saw. You're a faithful man. I want to bring you in. And he became my mentor, wherein then he gave us the structure. Imagine this class, okay? I'll tell you my classmate. There's a air conditioning salesman. There's a doctor, a dermatologist. There's a lawyer. There's a karate expert. All sorts of people from all sorts of levels, so eclectic. And he gave us this template on public speaking. He made us go forward and give a 7-minute talk. We all critique each other. So we got to fine-tune each other's skills. Not only that, the mentor did something else. Nelson, I have authority in this church. I'm opening a class. You teach the class. Huh? Me? Okay, talk about sink and swim. But I took the challenge. I went there. I taught the class. One class became 2, became 3, a series of classes. Fast forward a few years later, somebody invited me, Nelson, can you give a Sunday message? That's my first real immersion in public speaking, aside from being in a classroom setting. And one message led to another, and then I found Toastmasters. And this is where I'm trying to say that if you have a mentor, that's going to accelerate your career. And that's where we're going to help you now in terms of where to find the mentors you need. Feel free to ask questions because I'm keeping an eye on this chat box over there in my second laptop. If you have any questions, if I can weave it into the discussion, I'll do my best. Now, we've seen the power of mentoring. If it were not for that mentor, I will not even be here giving you this talk. And now, what is the definition of mentoring? A little basic definitions. From the Association of Talent Development, it's the American counterpart of PSTD. It says that mentoring is the reciprocal. Okay, let me now try to make this more visible for me. It is a reciprocal and collaborative at-will relationship that most often occurs between a senior and a junior employee for the purpose of the junior employee, the mentee's growth, learning, and career development. Notice it is reciprocal, it is collaborative, and it is at will. It's something with the freedom of both mentor and mentee. And usually it's between somebody higher and somebody lower. And what's the goal? For the lower's benefit, the growth, the learning, and the career development. We all need mentors. And some people ask me, what's the difference between mentor and coaching or counseling and consulting? This is one useful structure. First, you're talking about, is it asking or telling? I ask you a question or I tell you what to do. Or is it something like we're looking somewhere in the past or we're looking somewhere in the future? Think of it this way now. If you have a problem and it's something based in the past, whether it's an hour ago or 10 years ago, and I ask you questions, that's counseling. I'm your shrink, I'm your psychotherapist. Or if, let's say you hire me, you have a company that's having this kind of problem, and you have this thing that's been happening for years and years, and say, let's have a consultant. And that's where I tell you what to do based on my own experience. But when it comes to coaching and mentoring, the mindset is towards the future, and it's having solution. Now, here is the concept. In coaching, the coachee, that's you, you're the expert. I ask you questions, draw out ideas from you, and we work at it from there. Or this time, we want to look in the future. We're looking at solution. I'm the mentor. I tell you what to do. I share you my insights, my experience. I would like to add this particular structure, these two arrows. In the past, you're trying to fix a problem. In the future, we want you to flourish. So in the past, you have a problem. I try to fix it. If I ask you questions, I'm counseling you. If I tell you what to do, I'm consulting for you. In the future, we want to improve your life. We want to improve your career, your organization, maybe even your relationship. And therefore, we make you flourish. If I ask you, I'm coaching you. If I'm telling you, I'm mentoring you. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you find this useful. And then also type yes if you find this useful. Otherwise, also feel free to ask questions. Do I say yes, that this is a great template for you? Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. I so appreciate your interaction. Okay, so you have now a quick view of the 4 aspects. And now we go to why mentors. Basically, you're building competencies, you're building confidence, and you're building contacts. And the key is that you'll never be able to do that on your own. Now, competency. Have you ever had this experience wherein you're supposed to do something, then you realize you did it the wrong way, it was the inefficient way, and how I wish somebody were to teach me the proper way. Mentors can save you from DIY, do-it-yourself mistakes. In other words, it will accelerate your learning curve. You will be spared of making costly mistakes, maybe even mistakes that will ruin your career. Perhaps also the mentor will share with you, don't do the same mistakes I did, because then you will not be making the mistakes for yourself. And therefore, you're able to succeed faster and better, and maybe with a lot less stress along the way. The other one is that mentors can inspire you to be what you want to be. Let's face it, we may have a lot of knowledge, a lot of training, but we feel so inadequate, we feel so low, useless, but the mentor is also there to cheer you on. The mentor is also a cheerleader. He will aspire, awaken aspirations for you which you never saw before, and see possibilities that you never dreamed of before. Now, last but not least, a mentor can open doors for you because he has his own connections, he has his own contacts. And if, let's say, the mentor likes you and he will introduce you, let's say, people from other departments or somebody higher up, and therefore you'll be in that higher up's radar screen, the mentor can do that for you. It can also be that the mentor can open doors for you outside the organization. And who knows, like this, you need to have a project done and you need to have a friend of a friend. And the mentor may say, oh, I'll introduce you to so-and-so. Maybe it's a sales project. Maybe it's advice. Maybe it's an investment. Maybe even a business relationship. So mentors are gold. They establish competencies, confidence, and contact. Now, therefore, you must be wanting, yes, I want to have a mentor. Mentors are wanted, but where? And this is what I keep hearing about. I cannot find mentors. I try to, give a shout out. I need mentors and nobody's responding. And here are 3 mindsets that I would like to have you to do before you look for the mentor. There are 3 mindsets. Mindset number 1, mentors are everywhere. I want to shift you from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. In the next 9 slides, we're going to go quickly. I'll show you ideas where else can you find mentors. Slide number 1. A mentor does not have to be in your organization. Now, some of you may have formal mentoring programs, okay? And then they'll assign you to a senior executive and you're supposed to be mentored by him. You will have a schedule where you meet, and then there'll be a revalida, that sort of thing. But if you're looking for a mentor, it may be outside your organization. It can be, well, hopefully not competitor. It can be somebody outside, maybe an alumnus of that organization or in a related field. Another one, it does not have to be long-term. Surprise? Many people think that mentoring is like almost forever. It's a long process. Not necessarily. A mentor can be short but sweet. Supposing you're talking to a janitor, and then the janitor gives you some advice about wisdom, about the right living for 5 minutes. In that 5 minutes, you are being mentored. And that's why it doesn't have to be long-term. It can be 1 hour, it can be 1 month, it can be 1 year. It depends on your mentoring needs. A mentor does not have to be just one. Now, this is one of my favorite aspects. Who mentored Batman? Can everybody, if you're a DC Comics guy like I am, can you show me in the chat box who were Batman's mentors? Anybody? This is going to be a bit fun. Who were Bruce Wayne's teachers? Alfred, yeah, the butler, Pennyworth. Okay, go on. Who else? Wow, Ra's al Ghul. Alfred, yeah. Actually, Ra's al Ghul, I think, is the villain, right? It's the demon. Okay, go on. Who else is Batman's mentor? Gordon, okay. I believe in one of the movie they have Henry Pichard, and then there's another people. Okay, if you look at the comic books, he has plenty of mentors, some for martial arts, some for detective skills, some for scientific investigation. In other words, Batman did not just have one mentor. He knew the skill set he has to have as a crime fighter. If he did not get mentored, let alone get mentored by several people, do you think he will survive his first battle with a Joker? I doubt it. It's probably going to be. So mentors are not just one. You may have to have a series of mentors, different kind of mentors for a particular set. Now, face to face. A mentor doesn't have to be right in front of you. It can be remote. Another one, it doesn't have to be exclusive. Doesn't have to be just you and the mentor. It can be the mentor and several of you. In fact, right now, the trend is Facebook communities, tribes, masterminds. If you're able to find such a group, go there and you'll find the mentor perhaps you're meant to have. Another one is that surprise, surprise. A mentor doesn't have to be older than you. Remember the definition, senior and junior? Right now, it doesn't have to be. There's this thing called reverse mentoring, whereby it's a younger person mentoring you. Usually, for example, I'm a boomer, and I need to learn about Microsoft Teams. So I asked this IT person who's half my age to teach me how to do it. In that particular 1 hour, doesn't have to be long term, remember? That 1 hour, he was my mentor. And yes, I'm setting up Microsoft Teams. He doesn't have to be alive. Have you ever wondered about that? For example, I run 2 factories and I need to learn about management. So what do? I read Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker is already dead for some years now, but he's my mentor. Another one would be that he doesn't have to be real. Surprise, surprise again. For example, if you're a detective and you want to excel in investigation, critical thinking, you may want to read the books of Arthur Conan Doyle and learn how Sherlock Holmes does it. He's not real. Although, by the way, Conan Doyle based Sherlock Holmes on a real life person. So it doesn't have to be real either. The point I'm making here is that mentors are everywhere. If you think that it's like this, has to be an organization, older than you, long term, it doesn't have to be. Expand your thinking so you can see mentors are everywhere. It's a matter now of who and where. Okay, so that's first slide. Now, mentors do not even have to be about business. You can have a mentor for a certain life skill. It doesn't have to be based on your job description. It can be about music. I like to learn painting. I like to learn how to write a book. Mentors can help you there. Now, I'm going to do something wherein I'm going to recreate a scene. And I'd like you to put in the chat box, what is that movie? It's something from a movie, okay? Here it goes. Okay, I'm doing this. What is the movie I'm referring to? Wax in, wax out. Wax in, wax out. Karate Kid. Yes, Karate Kid. Sorry, it's not Matrix. Oh, that's interesting. Why Matrix? It is the Karate Kid. Do you remember way back, the very first movie? Okay, you have Daniel, desperate to be mentored by Mr. Miyagi on martial arts. And what did Miyagi do? You, wash my car. Wax in, wax out. Wax in, wax out. And then Daniel's been doing this again and again and again, and so frustrated, doesn't see the point of it all until later on, he was about to quit. And then Mr. Miyagi said, okay, I'm going to throw you a punch. Then out of muscle memory, Daniel deflected that punch because of the wax in, wax out. And what is the particular lesson here? You have to be an excellent mentee. When your mentor or would-be mentor asks you to do something, you do it. Because you'll never know he's testing you. I'm not going to waste my time on you if you're not going to do what I say. So I'm going to tell you, wax in, wax out. Hey, Daniel-san is doing it. He's a good mentee. I'll train him. Then you have the, woo! Yeah? You have the Karate Kid series then. Remember, I got my start with public speaking when I did the homework done by my professor. So if you want to be an excellent mentee, do your assignments. The mentor wants you to do something, do it. Because if you don't do it, it will give you the signal, I don't want to learn. And you kill the mentoring relationship before it starts. The other one is to ask the hard questions. Mentors, at least many of them, love to be challenged. And then if you ask the hard questions, is it like this? Why should it be like that, not like that? Hopefully your mentor will be delighted because then you'll be thinking about it, you're challenging him and make him think also. And then you deliver more than expected. You see, the point is that you want to excel and you want to show the mentor, you want to soar. And therefore, the way to do that is whatever the mentor asks you to do, give more. Because then he'll give more to you. It's going to be a virtuous cycle and everybody wins. Last, okay, we'll skip the how else because of time. Last, we give as well as take. Many people have this one-sided view about mentoring. I am the mentee, mentor, give me advice, give me wisdom, give me experience. No, ideally, it is a two-way street because you're the mentee. What can you do to give back to the mentor so that then the relationship is further enriched? Here are some ideas. One, help him with his advocacies. He may have some projects. He may be involved with some NGO. Help him there. Another one is to fill the gaps of his knowledge because the mentor, chances are, will have his own blind spots. He does know everything. For example, you are a junior officer in an organization. The mentor is up there, and he may not be aware what's the problems down there, but you know. And if you do your homework, you tell him this is the actual situation down there. Then the mentor said, I didn't know that. I thought things are well. Thank you for telling me. And then you work together for the solution. That's one example. Be also his resource. Be also his SME for something. The other one is to make the mentor look good. Okay, let's face it, mentors are also human. They will ask, what's in it for me? And therefore, if he is getting a reputation of developing people and more people wants to work with a mentor and his stature in the industry goes up, he's a guy that people will love to work with. People will improve because of him. Make the mentor look good. Okay. Now, okay. So now, how do I get a mentor? Okay. By this time, yeah, I got the trick mindset. How do I get it now? Give me the brass tracks. All right. Now, here are the 4 steps that how to get a mentor. Here is a summary. First, you envision what kind of person do you want to be. Second, you enlist the mentor. Then you engage the mentor. This is where the mentoring process takes place. Then when the mentoring is over, you exit. Mentoring is not marriage, wherein until death do you part. There has to be a certain terminus, a certain part where the mentoring succeeds and has to end. If it goes on forever, it'll probably get stale and boring. So let's look at it one by one. Act number 1, it's like the 4 acts of a play. You envision, what do I want to be in a certain time frame? 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, whatever. What do you want to become? Do you want to become an accomplished public speaker? Do you want to become like a CEO? Do you want to become like an entrepreneur, successful like this guy, like that guy? Then you work backwards because you started with the end in mind. Now you work backwards. What do I need to get there? You create an assets map or a skills map. You have to identify what precisely do you need from here to that time frame over there. Now, it sounds easier than said than done, but you have to do the exercise because if you don't have clarity what to ask from the mentor, it will not work. Because, for example, if you say, I want you to mentor me. Okay, what about? How to be a good speaker? What about? What do you need to become a good speaker? Then you have to really plan it out. So you have your identify what you need to learn, and then now you enlist. You find out who can help me get what I need. You now have to do your search. If you see this person, does this guy have what I need? Can he teach me the specifics X, Y, Z? 1, 2, 3. Here's one tip. If you want to get rich, never ask somebody's always broke. Of course, And that's why you have to look at people who are respected, who are shown to be very competent in whatever they do, somebody you admire. But be careful also that somebody is willing to mentor you, that somebody is somewhat not dictatorial, somebody's not selfish. That guy has to be willing and wanting to learn, to teach you what to do. And now your next step is, how can I ask that person to mentor me? You have to have this game plan. If I know this person can help me, now I have to think of the approach. You enlist. Now, people will say, Nelson, is there a script for me to do? This is the crucial part. Is there a script by which I can ask the mentor to mentor me? Well, let me put it this way. It depends on your personality. It depends on the personality of the mentor. Okay. So for example, this is me. I would say to this person, Mr. Mentor, I've been in this organization for about 1 year. My job is to do this, and I've succeeded in this particular aspect. But I need to learn about this. And I've been observing you, and I really love learning from you. May I ask you to mentor me on this. That will be one script, because this is how I would do it based on my personality. Your own personality may be different, so you may want to say it a different way. And the mentor, depending if it is old school or very easygoing, that's also the way to approach him. Now, I do hope that is useful for you, because that's another session altogether, how to approach that guy. But the key is always have the relationship first, and also show that you will be an excellent mentee, mindset number 2. Now, the next one is to engage. Therefore, now when the guy agrees to be your mentor, you now have to talk the mechanics. What time? How often? What will be the milestones? What are the deliverables? And that will now be the actual process where he spends time with you, and he gives you the assignments, do the assignments, and deliver more. And all the more you'll be learning until you get to that person you want to become. And as I said, Act 4, you exit. A mentor is not forever. How do we know that the mentoring is over? When there are certain goals that are met, then find a way to part ways in a friendly manner. Hindi yung, already have learned enough. Bye-bye, thank you very much. No, you also, well, you don't burn your bridges, but you also continue the relationship in friendly terms. Remember to pay it back to him, okay? And that's why also it's going to be a mutually rewarding process. Mentoring is two-way, not one-way. Here is the bonus tip I mentioned. It is to pay it forward, not just pay it back to the mentor, pay it forward. If you really want to turbocharge your career, your life, be a mentor to someone. But I'm not particularly that expert. No. All you have to do is to be 1 or 2 steps ahead. And then you can be a mentor to someone. When you mentor somebody, your mentor will think that this is a good guy because he's going to be mentoring somebody. He is selfless. He is going to help people also improve just as I'm doing to him. When you mentor someone, you're also reinforcing what you know, because to teach is to learn twice. Now, let's recap, and afterwards we can have a Q&A. The 3 mindsets. Mentors are everywhere. Be an excellent mentee. Give as well as take. And how do we have that mentor? The 4 acts. And this is what you can do in a screenshot. You already have your game plan. Envision. What kind of person do you want to be? Then enlist. Who will be that mentor who will teach me what I need to learn? Like Batman, who will be the guy who teach me karate, forensic medicine, that sort of thing. And then how will I approach him? How will I get him to be my mentor? And then you engage. The mentoring process is there. And then afterwards, you exit. Thank you very much, Mr. Mentor. I learned a lot. I do hope to return the favor to you one day. Meantime, okay, thank you very much. So then you exit. And then afterwards, be a mentor to somebody else. That concludes my presentation. Please follow me at LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. These are my handles. Contact me on a Gmail. I'll do my best to get back to you soon. And visit my website, nelsontv.com, and let's continue the conversation. I now open the floor to Q&A. My eyes in the chat box, but you can also post your question verbally. I'm listening. I'm all ears. Take it away, Rain.
Thank you so much, Coach Nelson. Thanks for sharing those 4 acts and 3 mindsets. I'm sure after this session, we'd be more capable in becoming a great coachee and finding the right mentors we need. We're now opening the floor for some Q&A. Who has a question to Coach Nelson? Please unmute.
I have something to say,
Hi,
if I
Ivy.
may. Hello, Nelson.
Hello,
Actually,
Ivy,
we're
Facebook friend
your
for
Facebook
longest time.
friends. Yes, and I very much appreciate that we're Facebook friends. And in the past, I've had some interface with you in your previous talks. So I really appreciate that. I know you, and I admire your being a great author and speaker. So I also am an inspiring author and speaker. So I'd very much like to get some insights from you on how to become a good author and speaker in the future.
Right. Now, let me also, that reminds me of another story. I had my share of people who asked me to mentor them in terms of being an author. Probably I have 3. None of them become my mentees. You know why? I see their draft. They would, okay, show me your stuff. And then I would see their stuff. And for example, one, I mean, this guy had terrible grammar. And this guy would write in big chunks of paragraphs. I mean, one paragraph is 2 pages long. Can you imagine? So now I gave him some tips. Okay, number 1, basic grammar here, there. Then chop down your paragraph. Here's your draft back to you. Give it back to me, edited. Never came back. Do you think I will mentor him?
Yeah.
Do you think I'll even chase him? No, because I'm going to go to the hungry ones who will be the Daniel sons. So
Yes.
Ivy, if you want to be mentor for public speaking, for writing, approach the potential mentor. Be ready if the guy asks you to do something. He's going to test you, by the way, and make sure you do what he says. Does that help you, Ivy?
Yes, thank you so much, Nelson.
Yeah. Anybody else? Thank you for that. That's a wonderful question.
You may now unmute. There's a question in the chat room. How can you tell that your mentor that you pick is the best mentor for you?
You can tell 90% of the time before you approach the person. 2 things, remember. How do you know that guy is the best mentor for you? Well, do you know what you want? Again, we go back to that mindset about envisioning. The other one is to enlist. This is where you do your background check, observation. Is he like, father figure ba or tyrant? So that will give you the blend. There's no guarantee. Just as, for example, how can I know this girl is the best wife for me? Well, yeah, you do your homework, yeah. But of course, there's always the chance that maybe not. But if you did your homework well, you increase your chances of having selected the best mentor. But let me give you another thing. Who knows your question is not the best? Because in theory, how do you know there's the best? The mentor you'll have, you'll think there's always going to be somebody better than him. Therefore, by definition, he's not your best mentor. But the point is this the best mentor you can have at a time, given your available information and your available candidates? Therefore, the thing is, don't think about the best mentor as if either or. If you now have an excellent choice, that's the key, excellent choice of mentor, then maximize, make the mentoring relationship flourish. Now, there's another question. What are the 3 most important traits that we must look for in a mentor? Okay, there are several. For example, one is, of course, competence. Like I said, do you want to have a mentor who will teach you how to become a millionaire and yet he's always broke? Well, that's one, competence. The other one is character. If the guy is there with a success, he's successful, but he did it through shenanigans. I doubt it. So character is the second one. And of course, it's the willingness to share. Here's a tip, okay? I almost forgot this tip. Look for mentors who are in legacy mode, like me. People are a certain age that I've done enough. I've absorbed a lot from society. It's now time for me to give back. And therefore, you want to look at this one, competence, character, and a willingness to share. If possible, super abundant generosity to share. And that will be the 3 things you may want to look for. Now, somebody had asked, Walter. Walter, thank you very much for this very informative and helpful discussion. Just a thought, there are times that we experience spontaneous mentorship. Sometimes not necessarily within the process, we just be open and aware of the opportunities. You may add your thoughts. That's great, Walter. And I already have mentioned this, that a mentor can be spontaneous, on the spot, very short. As I said, it can be like the one with the janitor who gives you some wisdom on life. The other one is, yes, here's the thing. To add to what Walter said, always be alert to learning moments, to learning opportunities. You'll never know that this particular person you'll meet 5 minutes later on the street can be your mentor. In fact, here's the other thing around. Be careful that your response is not, alam ko na yan eh. Okay, that's another thing you have to watch out, because here's a story, and hopefully we'll still have time. There's this guy who this executive approached the manager, and the executive told something to the manager, and the manager, that's precisely what he said. Sir, really? Alam ko na yan eh. Guess what? The executive never talked to the manager again. And that's the other thing you have to be careful about. Always be in learning mode. For you as a mentor, what do you look for in a mentee? Okay, willingness to learn as evident by doing what I asked him to do. Now, of course, I'm not going to do wax on, wax off, or wash my dishes or clean my clothes. But the point is, I want to see, will he do what I say? Like the professor, do your homework. Oh, Nelson did his homework. I can train him. So what I look for in the mentee, number one is he will do what I say. Of course, within reason. What should be the most important trait they should show you to be your mentee? Hunger. And what's the evidence? You do it. Rather than, oh, mentor me, and then labas pasok, wala na. So that will be my answer to that. Did I miss a question, Rain?
I think that's okay. I think we have the last question. How about difficult bosses? Can they qualify as mentors? How to approach these types?
The answer is yes, but wait a minute. Depends on what kind of difficult boss. If the boss is so demanding, he has high standards, and it's like you have to struggle to meet those standards, but you can do it. He can be your mentor indirectly without him knowing it. It can also be that you can make him as a mentor officially because he's a tough guy, but tough but firm. Puede. But if it's a difficult boss in the sense that, he humiliates you, he landas you, that's another story. Don't take him. He's a tormentor. What you want is a mentor of learning.
Okay, I think we have one last question. Okay, we can accommodate one more. If your purpose for the mentoring is for confidence or inspiration and contact, not necessarily for skills, how do you structure your conversation?
Well, this is one where it's more of coaching, because then the conversation will like this. How can I have the confidence I need? Then the mentor, maybe coach, will then say, okay, first question, what's holding you back? Why are you not confident? Then turn it around. Okay, what can we do to help you become more confident? And that's the structure of the conversation.
All right. I think that's
hello, can I ask
yes.
one more question?
One
Last
more
question, yeah, for Sir Nelson. Sir Nelson, good
Yep.
afternoon.
Hi, Roger.
So my question is, if the possible mentor for me asked me to do something like a number of things, and I did all these things after a month or so, how can do I need to report to my mentor, to that possible mentor, what I did? So the things that he told me to do. So do I need to report to him?
Of course,
I
because
did.
how will the mentor know that you've done your stuff? By the way, the assumption is that the mentor wants you to do something that's not illegal, not unethical. It's something which you know that if you do it, it will bring you closer to your goal. And so the mentor says, do this, you do it, then depends. One, it's an open time frame. Come back to me when you're done. Puede. Or come back to me in 2 weeks time. Then you better also try your best to meet the deadline. The point is, yes, you have to give him feedback, because mentor gives you feedback to become a better mentee, but you also have to give him feedback to see where is the relationship going and if his mentoring is effective. Does that answer your question, Roger?
Yes, Sir Nelson. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
You're welcome.
You may also book a discovery call with Nelson, because He's also doing coaching sessions with us. So I'm personally a coachee of Nelson, so I can guarantee you that he's really a great coach and he helped me improve my career. So you may book your discovery call with him there. And for those who will book their discovery call with Nelson today, he will give you a discount, special discount. So you may scan the QR code and or go to the link provided.